G'day everyone, and welcome back to that new hobby high, Ultramarines from scratch. I had a fucking magic weekend. I don't mind fucking telling you. I went to a competition, my first 30k competition, and it was brilliant. It was so fucking good. I enjoyed myself immensely. The tables were beautiful. The shop was excellent. The people were freaking first rate. It was just top to bottom, just one of the best experiences I've had in a long time. And yeah, I'm going to share it with you. I've taken some videos, not as many as I would like, I'm afraid, because I was like a fucking idiot. Went and forgot to charge my battery. So I've got a few highlights of my battles and some other bits and pieces. But yeah, I also have a little thing to freaking say at the end of this vid. But just have a look at this stuff first, and then yeah, and then I'll take you through what actually happened and how it happened. But it was fucking magic. It was so good. Thank you, Nick and Beyond Odyssey for hosting it. It was spectacular. So yeah, have a quick goosey at this, and then I'll get back to it, and I'll give you the rundown of what happened. Cheerio. Fucking on our way to our Beyond Odyssey Horus Heresy Event. I've got about an hour to drive, and kickoff's in 1 hour. Oh fuck yeah. This man is keen as fucking mustard. Fucking dashcam Australia. Alright. Wanna knuckle in? I'm excited, lads. I'm fucking excited. And we're here. Righto, here we are inside of the shop. That's a real dinky-die golden demon in there. Fucking have a look at that. These are your standard model cabinets, and they are all painted fucking Mickey Mouse. They are absolutely spectacular, each and every one. Oh my goodness. It's the sort of level of painting which I aspire to get myself to. There's them sneaky Raven Guard. There's some of them flying dwarf things from the rats, and a bit of the old Warhammer stuff. There's a couple of Titans in there, look masterful. Some Star Warsy stuff, all very nice. And you know, there's some really interesting stuff in there. But yeah, this is just, you know, the thing. This is the interesting bit. Look, here is the tables. Absolutely fucking magic they are. All set up nicely, all numbered, all Mickey Mouse. Bloody hell. And each one different. So there were 3 different scenarios, 3 battles we were supposed to fight. The first one was Dawn of War with Blood Feud as the setup. The second was Search as Destroy and Tide of Carnage, and the third was Ambush. And yeah, oh, there's the bar. This place is immaculate. Have a look, hey. How good does this place? I mean, I got in early just so I could film this empty. And these are the armies, the ones that were set up for display. Look, that's the Alpha Legion. My God, that's so fucking pretty. That is such a nice army. And then there was these White Scars. How the hell you got that many vehicles in 1600? It's absolutely astonishing. There was the dude standing on his bike with a bloody sledgehammer. That was specky as hell. Go around the fucking corner here, and we got, oh, look at that. Look at that. I know he worked real hard on getting them up to a freaking Mickey Mouse standard for this bloody event. They look magic. And the World Eaters, oh God, what a slap in the face. They are brilliant. They just knock your teeth right out of your head. We've got some word bearers over here. Shame I didn't get to play them, but you know, they look really nice. And we didn't actually have a big setup of you know, put them up on display, but some of us did, and you know, there was a few armies that weren't even really covered. I didn't get to see. Oh, look at that Imperial Guard. Oh, Imperial Guard, Solar Auxilia, and they look just magic. Oh, so good, so fucking good. And they were really nicely painted. Over here, look at that, salamanders. That green fucking glowed. I don't know how the dude did it. It was spectacular. It was really nice. Good finish, clean lines. It was one of my two absolute favourites. But this here won the best painting in the comp. These ladies, Sons of Horus, they are nice. It was a really nice finish on them. It was crisp. Everything was uniform, and that, you know, according to the bloke who painted them, that colour does not cover well. And it's the first time I've seen one of them little saber tanks with the. Oh, bloody hell, it was good. I just really enjoyed it. You could tell that so many people put in such a fucking tippy top effort. It was so good. I mean, yeah, everything stood out, and no army was the same. Everything was a shade different. Everyone had their own personality, their own mix to it, and there's my freaking bucket, my little write-up, which I posted a couple of days ago. That went through. Right, so here's the hodgepodge videos of me couple of battles, because I genuinely got too excited and fucking forgot to record half of it. This is the first fight, White Scars, Solomon Khan, their general. We were doing Dawn of War and Blood Feud in this one, which is basically run up and stomp the living fuck out of the other person. I had a distinct advantage here, is in that each bike unit was 2 VP. But this is where I thought it was going to get fucked up. Everything was charging forward, and it just looked intimidating. But it turned out that if you don't move and you roll 60 shots into just about everything, you can wipe out just about any bike. And the Fulmintaris nuked everything. Pretty much won that game. Pretty much too excited to record the final victory. This is the second game, I think, against Sam's Thousand Sons. This one was Search and Destroy and Tide of Carnage, where we set up in a funky style, like on quarters, and we had to get to the other side. And at the end of this one, you can see here, I literally took every single unit off the table, and I lost maybe a squad to his Kenetai, I think they were called. Yeah, so I tabled him back. It was a bloody good game. I felt so bad. Here is about where I started to realise how nasty them Fulmintaris are. The last game was this one here against the Sons of Horus. It was Ambush and War of Lies. I was defending in the centre, and I had lost 90% of my army. Right there, you can see it. All gone. And then the Fulmintaris did their thing and took out every single scoring squad, and I won that one on destroyed enemy units, because he had more units than the 3 I had. The Fulmintaris just fucking devastating, man. It is shameful. Right, if it sounds like I'm a little bit quiet, it's because I'm in a shared apartment at the moment, and my workmate's asleep. So I'm just sort of I'm restraining my excitement. So I really want you to just understand that I would be singing and dancing and crowing in the streets naked like a bloody lunatic if I had the opportunity. But for common decency, I'm tackling, and I'm just quietly sitting in the common area, just doing the right thing. So that first game against the White Scars, it was terrifying. It's amazing how many fucking bikes they can put on the bloody table for 1,600 points. And there was this one chap there. Now, I felt bad about this for a bit, and then I realised that if I'd actually done it, I would have lost the game. But he's got a fella called Casaro Khan, who he races around on his bike, and instead of that lance, he's got a thunderhammer, but a thunderhammer that hits at initiative 10, and presumably has brutal and all the other, all the horrible stuff that comes with thunderhammers. Now, who wants to be at the end of that? So when he did get into combat, he issued a challenge to my Praetor, and I said, fuck that, no. I am not getting into a combat with a initiative 10 thunderhammer wielding friggin' Mongol. So I turned it down, and he was bitterly disappointed, and rightly so, because he would have won, and it would have won him the game. So he had to friggin' plough through my unit, which he did with horrific ease, to try and get at my Praetor. And it was yeah, he was really disappointed, and I actually felt bad, especially when you think, oh, it's a challenge, you'd take it, but it didn't make sense to take the challenge. If I was, you want him to have fun, but you don't want to freaking just hand a victory over. And if you're going to get smooted, don't get smooted just because of pride. That makes no sense. That's not logical. So, yeah, I felt bad about it. And eventually it came down to my foreman terrorist just took his army apart from a distance with their Patriarch targeter. Now, I got an unfair advantage in that game, as in the victory conditions were, destroy the enemy, and bike units gave 2 victory points. And I only had 3 units on the table, two squads of normal dudes and full Mataris. So that's at most you would have gotten kill the warlord and maybe 3 points. But as soon as I knocked off 2 points, two of his spike squadrons, I was already at 4 points. So it was not entirely fair, and it was possibly the worst setup for his type of army. But that was my first victory, which was really, really nice. My first victory at a tournament, my first game victory ever. So that was really, really, really nice. And yeah, I was celebrating it so much I forgot to take a video of the last phase of combat. So yeah, it was yeah, I was just over the bloody moon. The second was against Sam's Thousand Sons, which he said he pretty much said he'd won his previous game, and the reason he said he'd won is because he decided not to start casting spells and actually just use them as Space Marines with a few extra rules. And because of that, he'd won his last game. And this one was one. This game was we set up in alternating corners, and we had to get our units into the deployment zone of the other army. And he had this Daradeo dreadnought, this big, fucking terrifying looking machine. And yeah, it was a daunting prospect. So moved up before Mataris, shot at that thing, and completely wiped it off the table just about. And then he teleported in some Kenetai warriors, and they came in and they fucked up my shit. And then I stood back and did my gun line thing where I stopped moving. And because they were within 12, I got rapid fire for 2 shots. And because they weren't moving, because I think pride of the Legion, I got an extra shot. So you whittle something down to 60 shots. You're bound to freaking kill most things eventually just by throwing buckets of dice. At the opponent. So it ended up around turn 5, turn 6. You had nothing left on the table. I felt really, really bad because it was about this point I realised that a 10-man squad of full Mataris were just fucking too brutal for fucking words. Third game, straight after this, but I had about a 10-minute break, was against Sons of Horus. Now this had a tank and a Proteus Land Raider, and 3 squads of Terminators and a squad of Justeran Terminators. And yeah, it was. Well, if you have a look at the video, at the end of turn 3, I had lost both my tactical squads, just about. And my unit of full Mataris was about to get charged by 2 Contemptor Dreadnoughts. But then then basically what happened is one of his the Justeran, as they jumped out of the tank, failed their charge, and I could just slowly nuke everything. I got rid of the Justerans, was shooting. Once again, sitting there with 60 men on the ball, 60 bullets because of don't move, shoot twice, and then got rid of the dreadnoughts. And then in subsequent turns, I just dropped template weapons on the rest of his Terminators, and wiped them off the board. And eventually, he had no scoring units, and I had no scoring units, and And basically, because he had more units, little 5-man squads that I was wiping out, and I only had you'd wiped out 2, including my Praetor. I still had beat him in points, and it was, oh my goodness, it was harrowing. It was narrow, and then the next turn I would have gotten rid of the tank, but it was so good. It was so much fun. So that's 2 victories, 3 victories. So yeah, I had an absolute great time. But I do feel that Formantaris are quite a lot broken, and I don't think I'm going to be fielding them for anything less than 2,000 points. I felt like a bit of a dick, but I don't want to get winner's guilt, because I tried to play my best and play fairly and do all my bits and bobs, and yeah, I still feel bad. I mean, if somebody rocked up with what was equivalent of a super heavy, they would have won, and that's basically what I did. And I feel bad about it, but I also feel happy. It's a weird sort of jumble mix of emotion. Anyway, so it came around to everyone displayed their armies, and a few people got to judge, got to ask who was your best general, who had the most fairest gameplay, and who fairest general, best gameplay, and whose was the best painted. And oh my goodness, the best painted unit was a Sons of Horus unit that I didn't play. Fuck, and don't get me wrong, that's just one. A lot of the armies there were absolutely spectacular. I mean, put anything I could do to shame in a huge way. And so that one got the win. The World Eaters player, he got the best generalship, because I think the current consensus is World Eaters are very difficult to play well currently, and he still managed to win just about every game. I think he did win every game he played. So he got best generalship, which was absolutely 100% fair enough. And then at the end of it, they tallied up all the votes, all the wins, all the victory points, and they announced the winner of the tournament. And fuck me drunk, it was me. I fucking won the tournament. Can you fucking believe it? After just picking up this hobby after 3 months, I won it. I couldn't believe it. My ass fell out my elbow. It's I was so happy and just freaking over the moon. Anyway, it was absolutely brilliant, and the little write up I freaking put up. I've got that, put that in a picture frame, and it took about, since that one that I posted, it's had about 3 rewritings now. So it actually has this thing that apparently the plebeians called good grammar. I think that's the word. It sounds weird to me. What a grammar. Anyway, I got voted for the tournament. Apparently, a few people voted for me for 1 or 2. I got a vote for the paint job, and I got 1 or 2 votes for good sportsmanship. So yeah, I just want to thank everyone who played. It was such. I mean, I don't know if anyone will watch this, but it was such a good game, and it was so spectacular, and I loved it. And it's just such a good community and such a good game, and everyone who plays it is just absolutely fantastic. And it's just, I'm glad to be a part of it in this day and age. I'm just absolutely glad to be a part of it. I absolutely am really enjoying it. Um, I also very much need to give a very heartfelt thanks to my wife and my little baby for letting me out and play for the day. Because you can never ever forget your family. They're the ones that let you do your hobbies, eh? Anyway, thank you very much. I'm just having a great time. I'm over the moon, but I've got to admit, them Fulmentaris, they've been put in a box, in a lead line box with a lock on it, The lock is sealed, and the lock's been put in another box with a lock. And in that, the second lock box with the key has the words, "Only if I really fucking need to." You probably think of something more dramatic, like freaking, you know, when disaster calls, open the box, or done fucking around. But yeah, they're just too strong for small games. So hopefully these new units I'm working on here will be my next elites. I have 2 boxes of Mark 6s and some breaches coming in soon. And they're coming along very nicely. This one's still wet. I don't know if you can see him. Look at that. So he's got the white on white in that shoulder and the little breacher symbol in that. Shield needle still needs a bit of work, but the Legatine axe, which is just beautiful. Fuck, terrible focusing, but I'm still only doing this with a camera. Anyway, love the lot of you. Take care of yourselves, and yeah, celebrate with me for one day. And after this, it's just back to normal painting and learning Ultramarines from scratch. Love the lot of you. Take care.